Hold on, I gotta make a clappy clap because I gotta sync up audio and shit. Cool. All right, we got Alex. Fuck you. It's some Hollywood shit you wouldn't understand.
Okay.
You know, I'm recording from my phone, better camera, audio separate, and then I got you guys' video and audio separate too.
Oh,
some real fucking sophisticated shit going on right here.
all right.
Nerd. Alexander and Friends, episode 8. We got DJ, we got Nick,
What
we
up?
got me.
Hero.
Just at the top, let's go ahead and oh yeah, before I forget, if you're on YouTube, links below to get to Spotify. Follow us on Spotify, download the episodes, etc. Same goes for if you're in Spotify or whatever podcast you're using currently. Links below. Gets you to the YouTube. Like, follow, subscribe, hit that bell, and you get to see us.
Smash the like button or I'll smash your knees.
There we go.
Hit
All right.
that bell.
We've got that out of the way. We'll come back down then. But just up front, what are we talking about today? I know we're going to talk a little bit about video games, Titans, what if, and maybe stringing some pro wrestling there somewhere. Because CM Punk did just wrestle his first televised match in over 7 years. So we may talk about that. And there was a horrific botch where I think that Will Hobbs almost died. But did you guys watch anything wrestling this week?
No, I actually literally just got home.
Gotcha.
I've been meaning to watch the highlights of it, but little man had my phone all week. Well, not all week, but from like Wednesday to...
Tell that little shit not to decline my calls. I'll wreck his shit.
Feel my pain, little man. Embrace it. No, if you go out of your way to see anything wrestling from this past week, watch the Bryan Danielson versus Kenny Omega match. Holy fuck, man.
I heard it ended in a draw. 30-minute draw.
It did, but it was like, it wasn't like a bullshit, oh, fuck this kind of draws. Like, you didn't feel cheated. Like, they put on a fucking clinic of a wrestling match. That way, at the end, it was like, Jesus, we cannot wait to see that again.
So I'm guessing we're going to talk about this pro wrestling first?
Yep. Let's go ahead and fucking drill through that. There's not like a whole lot. Like, we've got our AEW's debut in New York at the Arthur Ashe Stadium, which is a tennis stadium or whatever. I think it was the biggest house they've done so far. The fucking place is perfect for wrestling, though. Like, the way that they do their seating for like the tennis and shit like that. Like, just something about the stadium and like the way the acoustics were coming up. And this is through television. Like, I can't imagine how crazy it sounded there. But Bryan Danielson, I'm gonna fuck that up a whole lot until it gets just normal or whatever. Switching it back around after so many years.
Yeah.
Versus Kenny Omega, fucking great. Ruby Soho against DMD, that was a good match. And then CM Punk versus Hobbs, that was great. Like, it was literally from Dynamite to Rampage, just stacked. It felt like a fucking like a 2-parter pay-per-view, really.
So I learned something about Ruby Soho. Her name came from her favorite band.
Soho?
Yep. No, Ruby Soho.
It's the name of a song. It's a Rancid song.
Yeah. That's one of her favorite bands, and they gave her permission to use that name.
Didn't it? She was on his podcast or something, right? Whenever he gave her permission.
Yep.
Like, it's obvious that she's a punk rocker for sure.
Oh,
but
easily.
You know, if you're a punk rocker, you most definitely love Rancid and shit like that. So that doesn't. I figured that's where her name came from, but for them to give her permission to use it, and not only that, she's using the theme song too.
Yeah.
So that's really cool.
Kudos to them.
And I think she's really good friends with him too. What's his name? Lars. That's his name, Lars. The singer or lead guy there.
Yeah, I think so.
All right. Transition. Wrestling was great this week. Let's go into what if? Talk about what if.
Yeah, sure.
Basically, we have frat boy Thor. That's what I gathered from this episode.
Yeah. And
What'd you guys think?
I fucking loved it.
It was great. It was very funny. I love
And I liked how when that's later. Continue.
No, go ahead. We're not going to go through sequence to sequence.
Well,
I
I
didn't
like
even
how
take notes.
when they couldn't get Thor to stop partying, how they got his mother to get him to stop partying.
Yep. I love how he's freaking out too. Like he was going to
Yeah.
be so grounded whenever she found out.
Yeah.
Not only that, like we've got frat boy Thor is so out of control that his partying is literally going to be the end of the world somehow, some
Yeah.
way. I thought that was crazy. I think there is some kind of old like myth story of some kind where it explains how Thor used to come and party on Earth all the time. And I feel like there's some kind of weird story where he did like accidentally almost end the world or something because he just partied too hard or something.
I think there is a story about that. I think I read about it.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Well,
It was really funny. It was good.
Well, in like the stories and stuff, Thor was widely known as like he loves to drink.
And he also loves to fight.
Oh, is he Irish now?
Racist. No. No, I feel like they kind of they did touch on his immaturity in the first Thor movie, and it's basically why Odin didn't give him like the reins or whatever to Asgard.
Yeah.
And like he wanted him to earn it or to grow up, I guess. So this is like, what if it's weird that Loki being there as a brother made him just an out of control party animal. Like,
yeah.
And like I like how they didn't go with without Loki as a balance, he's gonna be evil. He basically just turned into a fucking jock.
Yeah.
Just big jock. Just a big party animal jock.
What I really like at the end, how they showed Ultron with the 6 stones.
That's what I was confused. Is that Ultron though?
It looks like Ultron.
I thought it was Ultron at first, and then like
Who else could it be?
well, I thought Galactus. Like at first I was like, oh, that's Ultron. And then like a visor flipped up or something. And I was like, wait, is that Galactus?
That can't be Galactus because Galactus doesn't have a visor. He just has a helmet with like the horns.
Well, yeah, but you know, like they take some liberties sometimes, and like these cartoon versions don't exactly always look like the characters.
If
it was like a silhouette.
If it was it could be Iron Man.
Maybe I could see that, maybe. But at that time, I mean, we did have Iron Man around that time period, but I don't know. Like
it could also be.
It would be too soon for Ultron, also.
Yeah,
because we're talking the original Thor movie that time period. But who the fuck knows? There was all kinds of aliens coming there, so who the fuck knows?
Yeah, we had like people from Thor 3 show up.
Well, you said visor. You think it could have been the Destroyer?
No, the Destroyer comes down like this and hides the face so it could shoot the fire engine.
Oh, one of my favorite scenes is it Ragnarok? The one that was trying to hit on the Statue of Liberty? The big fire dude?
Oh,
the horns. I don't know. I know it's from one of the Thor movies.
That's Ragnarok.
Yeah. So like Ragnarok is
the reason
the Statue of Liberty.
Ragnarok happens.
Yep.
It's he's trying to hit on the Statue of Liberty, and then he has to like weld the arm back together and shit like that. Yeah. I was like, this is great.
This is fan-fucking-tastic.
All right, what's everybody's favorite part?
I think my favorite part would either be when they try to get his mother, or when they did get his mother, or the Surtur part.
That was it's so great that they were literally about to nuke him.
Yeah.
And then the broad idea that actually works is that they call his mother. And then she like pulls him away by his ear, basically. Or okay, this is my favorite part. Whenever she does show up, he's like,
Oh, when he's teaching the class.
yeah, he's teaching the class like nothing's going. He's like, oh, mother, didn't know you were gonna be
Hello.
here.
And then he calls Mjolnir, and it's got like party shit all over it. And he's basically like, oh shit.
The jig is up. DJ, I'm guessing you didn't watch it.
Mm-mm.
What was your favorite part out of what we described?
It'd probably be the Surtur.
It's a good episode. Let's go to Titans, I guess. Titans was fucking weird as shit this week. What do you think?
Didn't expect it at all. And I got really excited when, so like how, you can see like the first picture and stuff. And when I saw Raven, I kind of got excited.
Yep.
And they played with my fucking heartstrings and I didn't like it.
I got real excited. Okay, for like the whole season, we haven't seen Raven at all. So in my head, I was like, maybe they just like recast her, or like there was like timing issues. Maybe she was doing a different project and she just couldn't do the season, and they were kind of writing it in a way where they didn't have to show her. So whenever
but then if you think about the end of season 2, she goes to the Themyscira to help with Donna. Then you watch that episode and like adds together. Yeah,
it definitely makes sense and pays off from the last episode of season 2.
Yeah,
super like where they're at. I can never pronounce the name of the place, Themyscira or something like that.
Themyscira. I think it's like it's got a TH in it. I think
it's like something like that. It's wherever Wonder Woman like grew up.
Yeah.
So basically, they're trying to revive. What's her name? Donna. Yeah, Donna, because she died at the end of season 2
by a fucking light pole.
I thought that was cool to see that place, to see what she's been up to, but then it shifts over to black and white. I was like,
what the fuck is happening?
The fuck is this shit? Like what's going on?
And then
you
remember what happened to Tim, and then you see Donna. I got real fucking excited when I saw Donna. And I saw Donna, I was like, oh, they're dead.
I was excited to see her, but not nearly as excited as I was to see Hank.
Oh my God, when I saw Hank.
When I saw Hank, I was like, yes!
He's
coming back.
Yeah, I did the same thing. And then it really got to me when they brought his brother. I was like, oh, Hank, why would you do this?
Hank is so cool. And I was so, like, whenever he died in, like, episode
I
whatever
was
it was.
so upset.
Yeah, like, obviously, if they were going to kill somebody that someone cared about to, like, pull heartstrings, it was going to have to be him or whatever. He's the one who made sense.
They should have killed Dove.
I know. That's exactly what I said. But now I feel a little bad about it.
I don't.
Okay. Well, I feel a little bad about it now, knowing that Hank is still kind of out there. But I don't know if I know that DJ does, but did you ever watch Supernatural?
Yeah.
I was getting major Supernatural vibes from this episode with Hank in the black car and they're killing ghouls and shit like that. I was like, this is fucking kick ass.
I think it was a Firebird.
Whatever it was, like, and he's rocking out to like old rock music. So
yeah.
I was digging it. But yeah, okay. So we got Hank back. We've got Donna back in the episode.
Well, Hank's not back, which really upsets me, but
we'll get there because it did leave on a cliffhanger. If it didn't end the way it did, I would have been sad all over again. It's like, great. Hank's still dead. This fucking sucks. Fuck this shit.
Well, technically, like, I thought they were going to bring him back then, like, when they were going to the bridge and shit. I was like, Hank, you don't have a body, buddy.
I think what they're going to do is it leaves in a cliffhanger. We'll just go ahead and ruin it. At the end, it ends with him fighting off ghouls so that Donna and Drake can escape and go back to real life, I guess.
The land of the living.
Yeah. So Hank stays back and fights off these ghouls so they can get away. But at the very end of the episode, the last thing we see is him bumps into the original Dove.
Yeah, his brother.
So they're basically going to be like Sam and Dean and just fucking up ghouls in Neverland or wherever the fuck they're at.
And like helping people get back to like the tree shit.
Yeah. So I think they'll play a cool part, and hopefully Dove replaces that shitty superhero gear that he's still rocking.
Yeah.
It basically looks like a football outfit.
I was reading something because in the end of that episode, you see Donna go help Bruce.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning of the episode, you see Bruce signing his will. I was like, Bruce is dying. Cool. This is cool. But I was reading something and they said, if you look in the Batcave, they have the sword of Roz, and they've been like throwing hints and stuff, and people are thinking they're gonna bring in Damian next season.
I'm here for it.
Oh, I'm here for it too. But for a little while, Dick was Batman.
Mm-hmm.
When Batman Bruce died.
Like legit wore the suit and everything.
Yeah, he wore the suit and everything. They were talking about how they think they're planning on bringing Damian in because they already got Tim in there, and they're speculating when Bruce gets back to Gotham, they're going to put Tim as Robin or make him Red Robin because that's what he is.
Yeah.
And then season 4, because Bruce didn't actually do the deed with Talia, they just took some of his DNA and basically sperm donored fucking Talia with Bruce's DNA because Bruce wouldn't take the mantle of Demon's Head from Roz.
Is that what happens in... I don't have a clear memory of what actually happened in the comics. Is that what happens in most of the comics?
Bruce wouldn't take the Demon Head because he technically didn't want it.
Explain what that is for people who don't know.
The Demon's Head is the leader of the League of Assassins. And that's what Ra's is, and he's been it for like, I think it was like 600 years when he offered. Ra's al Ghul was real upset about it. Like he tried convincing him plenty of times because he wanted Bruce to marry Talia, which is his daughter. I think is his oldest daughter. He's got two. He's got Talia and Nessa.
I think Talia's the oldest.
Yeah.
I don't even know anything about this other daughter. I thought she was the only one.
I didn't know she existed.
Yeah. Well, if you watch Arrow, she's in Arrow, Nessa. I think it's Nessa. She was dating Sarah.
Okay. I've got like a foggy memory of this.
Yeah.
Okay.
And Talia would call like Bruce her, or they didn't know it was Bruce. And I think they did. But she would call Batman or Bruce my beloved and shit like that. But yeah. Bruce was like, no, get the fuck out of my face. I want nothing to do with it.
Okay, so like I know Damian's like one of the last core Robins.
Yeah.
So if they plan on bringing him in, he probably initially won't be Robin, but he is trained by Bruce to be a Robin, right?
From the day he was born, he was trained in the League of Assassins.
Yeah, I knew that.
Bruce doesn't find out about him till he's 10 years old. So from birth until 10 years old, he's done nothing but murder the shit out of people. But compared, like, you know how Jason was like a troubled Robin and shit like that. He had his anger issues and shit. Times that by 2 with fucking Damian. People call Damian the most troubled Robin because he has like these murder instincts and yada, yada, yada. And Bruce has trouble keep putting him on his way of not killing things, killing people, and whatnot.
I mean, that's understandable because when you're so used to one way of life and then someone's like, all right, this is how we do it now.
This is how we run the show up in this bitch.
It's hard to change that way of life after doing it for 10 years.
So basically the dance that I wonder how they're going to do it is because obviously we've not seen Bruce like dressed as Batman in the series due to, I'm sure, some kind of legal issues of some sorts. So how do we explain him coming in and being a Robin?
Warner Brothers has a contract with HBO. That's why like all the Batman stuff's on there, all the DC stuff's on there.
So at what point, because like even at this point, we've seen Joker's foot or whatever.
Well, you see you don't see his face, you see the back of his body.
Yeah. So like we haven't, like I wonder if that's just some kind of like legal stuff that they are like having to tiptoe around. Like whatever. Like if they have to, if they don't, whatever. But like how do they work him in? Because at this point we'll have 1, 2, 3, 4 different Robins on screen.
Well, that's happened before.
True.
Have they introduced female Robin yet?
No, we're
Who
not
cares?
talking about that.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's like old man
when
Batman.
Yeah, she came in. She wasn't even a real big part of the fucking story. No one even fucking counts her. She came in during the comic book series of The Dark Knight Returns.
Yeah, he's like old as dirt.
He's old as fucking shit.
He's like retired. Like he's retired from the Batman, being
Yeah,
Batman.
Like
Jim
everything.
Gordon.
Batman
just
Beyond,
about-
old man.
No, it's in between that.
Before that,
No, it's
Okay.
Batman Batman Beyond.
Batman
is
Beyond's like
after.
the year 3000.
It's a little far, but
Little.
I
Just a
understand.
wee bit.
I understand.
But so she comes in so Batman's already retired. He's been retired for like 10 years. I actually just watched part 1 of The Dark Knight Returns. And thank you. Thanks guys for the help.
We didn't know what you were talking about.
And at this point in time, there was no, I don't think there was a Tim Drake, and I don't think there was a Damian Wayne. There was definitely no Damian Wayne, because Damian didn't come into like early 2000s, because Red Hood, when this story came out, Red Hood wasn't even a thing. And Jason died in 88 due to fan choice.
Yeah, we have to take into effect there's been a ton of resets, like hard resets on Batman and to modernize him and all that kind of stuff. It'll be interesting to see. I want to see it, but I want to see it in a way that is interesting and done
correctly.
Not even correctly, because like we just said, we've had tons of hard resets. So like doing it correctly is kind of out of the question because of just how the nature of comics are. So it's like,
that's fair.
With that Robin, she only became a Robin because when I watched the movie, she helped him fight the mutants.
Yep.
He was like injured or whatever, and Alfred was like, no, this is a bad idea, don't do this, yada yada yada. Alfred was like, we're almost to the hospital. Bruce was like, no, to the cave. Alfred was like, no sir. And then he goes, Robin comes with us. But before that, or after that, Bruce and Alfred were talking. Alfred goes, we can't have another Jason. So that right there proves to me this is before they brought back Red Hood. Red Hood came out like, I want to say 2001, 2005, one of those 2 years. Jason died because of fan choice in, I think it was like 88.
Yep.
And they didn't introduce him until early to mid 2000s. Side note, Sonic, not fucking Sonic. Shadow, thank you. Shadow and Red Hood came out roughly the same time, and they both have the same fucking color scheme.
What does one have to do with the other?
They both have the same color scheme. So people are thinking one stole from the other with the color schemes and shit.
Oh man.
They're both dark.
That's comics though.
Listen, they're both dark and brooding. They're both keep themselves, do whatever the fuck they want and whatnot. And I'm like, this kind of makes sense, but it doesn't at the same time.
I don't follow.
I don't know. So when they did the story of Dark Knight Returns, Jason wasn't alive, and I don't think they introduced Tim yet.
I would be interested to see if there's like a timeline breakdown like on YouTube as far as like the Bat family goes, just to really break everything down.
Because I know now,
I'm sure there is.
As of right now, you got Batman, Nightwing, Robin, Red Hood, Batwoman, Batgirl, technically Oracle, because they're technically the same person, technically no. Batwing. Yes, that's a person.
I believe it.
Alfred, technically every Batman in fucking existence.
I think the character they need to introduce is the big bad in the next season, or maybe the one after that, preferably next season. Do you guys remember this? Like, he's in one of the most recent video games, like the Templar guy. He's in a white getup. He's got like the red cross, and he carries around like a sword that's on fire.
Damian Priest.
Yep, that guy. I think they need to bring him out, or do that, or simultaneously do the Court of Owls storyline.
Oh, it would be so fucking good. Oh shit, my phone was dead.
But
that would be so fucking good.
That would be good because that's like more of a modern story.
The Court of Owls
we could see
It's
a
more
lot
of a-
more of Bruce.
Yeah, the Court of Owls is more of a Batman thing.
I know, but no, it's not Batman. It's mostly Bruce related. So the guy playing Bruce would be able to have a lot more screen time.
Yeah.
And they can simultaneously, while they're dealing with the Court of Owls, be dealing with the Damian Priest guy at the same time, because he kind of correlates around that same area.
Well, in the new game Arkham Knights, it's about the Court of Owls.
Yep.
And while they're doing that, they could have the Titans fight Talon, that's his name, the assassin.
Yep, I'm here for it. All right, we have just a couple minutes left. What else do we want to touch on?
Video games.
What have you been playing, DJ?
I've been playing a lot of Splitgate and Apex, but I did download a new game, Dungeons and Dragons Dark Alliance, which I'm all for everything D&D.
Here for it.
Tell us about the gameplay. Like, what kind of...
So it's a lot. Just by watching the trailer, I didn't play a lot of it. I just mainly did the tutorial, but a lot of it, just by the trailer, looks like a Diablo type game.
Mm-hmm.
The one thing I don't like about it is the lock system.
Mm-hmm.
No matter what, you can lock onto somebody and you still have to turn the camera.
That's fucking stupid.
And it gets quite annoying. I mean, it's not a bad game, but I wish they would just update the turn with like
if you
when you lock onto somebody, the camera automatically turns to them. Yeah. It reminds me a whole lot of Diablo. Like they got it's a 4-player game, so all 4 of us could play it. They got a drow, they got a barbarian or a warrior, they got an archer, and I think they got a warlock.
So basically what you can be in D&D.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me this. Besides the aesthetic, like of, wizards and orcs and shit like that, what else makes the game Dungeons and Dragons? Like, is there any like way that you play like a dice roll or whatever it is?
So it's basically just Diablo.
Basically.
Yeah, they basically could have just named it Diablo or Lord of the
Dungeons and
Rings
Dragons Diablo.
Yeah.
Basically.
But I mean, it seems like a fun game. And when you start the game, you pick the character you want to be while you're offline. And then when you go online, you got to choose a new character.
That makes no fucking sense, but okay.
Yeah, like I went
to
go
is there
play
like a
online.
tutorial or something, and then you pick? Okay.
Like when you're offline, all you can do is the tutorial on like the movement, the attacks, the lock on.
So it's like an MMO. It's like massive multiplayer online game, right?
Yeah, it's like an MMO RPG.
See that? Okay.
Kind of.
I'm good with that. Like it's basically like Diablo online. It probably doesn't look like Warcraft, does it?
No, it looks like Diablo. But the one thing I like more than Diablo,
so it's Diablo.
Diablo is above camera from up above. You're looking down on the characters. But in the D&D game, you're looking straight forward. Like you're looking from behind the characters, which I prefer better. I prefer that more.
So basically what you do in the Batman games.
Yes.
All right, what else? You got D&D.
They as you go on and as you get stronger, the bosses get bigger. Like taller, stronger. Well, in Diablo, all the bosses are the same size.
Well, Diablo, you deal with hordes, so it's like a hack and slash game. Like that's, I get bored with that real fucking quick. But like where Diablo saves me is like the great cinematic like cutscenes and shit in between.
Yeah.
But like I can literally just zone out and just keep pressing that A button or B button or whatever the fuck it was.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, cool, all right, there's no more enemies, so let's move to the next part of this stupid fucking cave. Well, today 100 more times.
I enjoyed playing Diablo. Like me and one of my friends and her husband, we literally sat there for like
friends.
Fuck off. We sat there and played Diablo for like 4 hours straight.
Could not be me.
And we beat it.
It is more fun with people. I had a friend at the time, and I pretty much hoaxed him into playing it with me one night. And like he liked Diablo 1 and 2, and we were playing 3, I think it was. And we played for like 6 hours straight. And I was like, oh, cool. It was a lot of fun. And then like my friend goes, yeah, man, my thumb's really hurting. I don't think I'm going to be doing that again. I was like, oh, shit. So I had to beat the game by myself. But I'd already gotten so deep into it. I was like, I've got
that as well.
I should have just got on YouTube and watched the cutscenes. But, my OCD was like, nope, you got to finish it now.
Nope, this is not how we do things around this bitch.
All right, I think that is all the time we got left here. All right, call to actions. Heard at the beginning, you're going to hear it at the fucking end. If you're on YouTube, like, comment, subscribe, follow that link below to the Spotify, and hit that follow button.
If not, I'll break your fucking kneecaps.
Yeah, leave a rating if you're on Apple Podcasts or wherever you're listening to it. Fucking do it.
I'd hate to have to hang you by your toenails.
Oh, ouch. God.
That sounds dreadful. I think I would way rather like,
hit that bell.
comment, subscribe.